and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever looked into your pet's eyes and feel like they know a little too much? Like they're watching you, not just with curiosity, but with something deeper? Something wrong? In today's story, we'll make you question everything you thought you knew about your furry little friend. Because sometimes, what seems cuddly and cute is just a mask. This is the story of Mittens. A sweet, affectionate cat with emerald green eyes, and a secret so dark, so twisted, it'll make you think twice the next time your pet stares at you from across the room. Get ready for a terrifying descent into trust, manipulation, and the kind of evil that hides in plain sight. This is Demon in Disguise, the truth about my cat. My cat, Mittens, was a creature of habit. Every morning, precisely at 6:15 a.m., she'd begin her symphony of demanding meows, pawing at my face with a soft, insistent paw that belied the sharp claws she could unleash if truly displeased. She was, in most respects, a perfectly ordinary cat. Sleek black fur, emerald green eyes that seemed to see right through you sometimes, and a purr that vibrated through your chest like a tiny, contented engine. I'd adopted her from a shelter 5 years ago, a small, scared kitten huddled in the back of a cage, and we'd been inseparable ever since. Life with Mittens was predictable, comfortable. We had our routines: morning cuddles, breakfast, my work-from-home days spent with her curled on my lap or stalking imaginary prey in sunbeams, evening play sessions with a laser pointer or a crinkled ball of paper, and finally, bedtime purrs as she settled in on my bed. I talked to her constantly, narrating my day, sharing my worries, confessing my silliest secrets. Of course, she never answered back. She was a cat. A beautiful, slightly aloof, and endearingly demanding cat, but still, just a cat. Or so I thought. It started subtly. In the way things often do, the creeping dread inching its way in like a hairline crack in a perfectly smooth wall. It was the eyes, I think. Mittens' eyes, once just green and feline, started to feel different. More intense, more knowing. They'd fix on me, sometimes when I wasn't even looking at her, and I'd get this prickling sensation on the back of my neck, like being watched. It wasn't an unpleasant feeling exactly, not at first, more of an unease, a flicker of something that didn't quite fit into the comfortable rhythm of our days. Then there were the noises. Not the normal cat noises, the meows and purrs and hisses of displeasure. These were different. Low, guttural sounds, almost like growls, but not quite. Sometimes I'd hear them in the dead of night, emanating from the living room where Mittens slept. I'd creep out of bed, heart thumping a little faster than usual, and find her sitting perfectly still, facing the window, the sounds gone. When I switched on the light, she'd blink at me, innocent emerald eyes wide, and stretch languidly, as if to say, "What? Aren't cats allowed to have a little midnight stretch?" I'd reassure myself it was just the old pipes in the building acting up, or maybe the wind whistling through the cracks in the window frame. Anything but the unsettling, irrational thought that was starting to take root in my mind, that the noises were coming from Mittens. One evening, I was working late on a deadline, the only light coming from my desk lamp. Mittens was curled up on the rug beside my chair, seemingly asleep. The house was quiet, the kind of deep quiet that presses in on your ears, amplifying every tiny sound. I typed furiously, trying to finish the last paragraph, when I heard it again. That low, guttural sound, closer this time, right beside me. I jumped, startled, and looked down. Mittens was staring up at me. Her green eyes were wide and unblinking, reflecting the lamplight like chips of polished jade. And then, it happened. A voice, raspy and low, emanated from her, not a meow, not a purr, but words. "Working hard?" I froze. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, my breath caught in my throat. I stared at Mittens, my mind refusing to process what I'd just heard. Cats don't talk. They just don't. It was stress, sleep deprivation, I must be imagining it. Did Did you just? I stammered, my voice a shaky whisper. Mittens blinked slowly, deliberately. Did I what? Make an observation? The voice was the same, raspy, unsettlingly human yet undeniably feline at the same time. It was like nails on a chalkboard, but spoken. My heart pounded against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the sudden, oppressive silence of the room. You talked. You spoke words. Mittens stretched again, this time unfolding herself slowly, deliberately, almost theatrically. She stood up, her black fur rippling like liquid night in the lamplight, and fixed her gaze on me. Of course, I can talk. Did you think I was just going to meow at you forever? That would be dreadfully boring, wouldn't it? I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was trapped in a nightmare, a grotesque parody of my ordinary life. But, cats don't talk. It's impossible. Mittens chuckled, a dry, rattling sound that sent shivers down my spine. Impossible? My dear, you humans are so limited by your perceptions of reality. Just because you haven't encountered something before doesn't make it impossible. It just means you haven't been paying attention. She padded closer, her movements unnervingly fluid and graceful. She circled my chair, her eyes never leaving mine. There are many things in this world you don't understand. Secret things. Things that purr in the shadows. I pushed my chair back, scrambling away from her, feeling a cold dread seeping into my bones. What are you? Mittens stopped circling and sat down, tail wrapping neatly around her paws. She looked at me, and for the first time, I saw something truly malevolent in those green eyes. Something cold, ancient, and utterly terrifying. Let's just say, I'm more than just a cat. Much, much more. Why are you telling me this? Why now? My voice was trembling, barely audible. Oh, darling, Mittens purred, but there was no comfort in the sound, only menace. Don't you understand? I've been waiting. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting until you were comfortable, until you trusted me completely. Until you were vulnerable. She leaned closer, her breath, surprisingly, smelled faintly of dust and something metallic, like old blood. And now, here we are. Panic clawed at my throat. What do you want? Mittens smiled, or what passed for a smile on a cat's face, a chilling widening of her mouth that showed rows of needle-sharp teeth. Want? Oh, I want quite a lot of things. Power, for starters. Influence. And you, my dear, you are going to help me get them. Me? How? I was backing away, pressing myself against the wall, desperate to put as much distance as possible between myself and this thing that looked like my cat. You are my vessel, my anchor in this world. You have opened your home to me, your life to me. You have given me your trust. Foolish human. Trust is a weakness I can exploit. Mittens stood up again, her movements even more predatory now. You see, humans are so easily manipulated. So predictable in your emotions. Fear, especially fear, is such a potent tool. I shook my head, tears welling in my eyes. This can't be real. This is a nightmare. Oh, but it is real, my dear. As real as the fear gripping your heart right now. Feel it? It's delicious. Mittens took a step closer, and I could see the pupils of her eyes dilating, becoming black pools that seemed to swallow the light. You've been so kind, so loving. You've given me everything I needed to become myself. Yourself? I choked out. What is your true self? Mittens stopped, tilting her head as if considering the question. Let's just say, I'm a collector of sorts. A connoisseur of experiences. And human experiences are so richly flavored. Especially the negative ones. Pain, despair, terror, these are delicacies, my dear. And you are going to provide me with a feast. I wanted to scream, to run, but I was paralyzed, trapped in place by a terror so profound it robbed me of movement and sound. Mittens continued to advance, her voice dropping to a low, sibilant whisper. Don't worry, darling. It won't hurt too much. At least, not for me. For you, well, that's another story. She was right in front of me now, her hot, fetid breath on my face, and those terrifying green eyes boring into mine. I closed my eyes, bracing for I didn't know what. Teeth? Claws? Something worse, something unimaginable. But instead, I felt a soft, familiar pressure on my leg. A gentle nudge. And then, a sound I knew so well, the rumbling vibration of a purr. I slowly opened my eyes. Mittens was there, just Mittens. My cat. Curled against my leg, purring contentedly, her green eyes soft and innocent. The rasping voice was gone. The malevolent gaze was replaced by the usual feline indifference mixed with a hint of affection. Had I imagined it all? Was it just stress, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion and too much caffeine? I reached out a shaky hand and tentatively stroked her fur. It felt soft, normal. She leaned into my touch, purring louder. Mittens? I whispered, my voice still trembling. She blinked at me, a slow, sleepy blink. Then, she yawned, a wide, pink yawn that showed nothing but ordinary cat teeth. She settled back against my leg, purring, seemingly oblivious to the terror that still gripped me, the cold sweat that clung to my skin. I stared at her, my mind reeling, trying to reconcile the monster I had just confronted with the seemingly innocent creature at my feet. Could it have been real? Could my cat, my sweet, cuddly Mittens, truly be something else? Then, as if in answer to my unspoken question, Mittens shifted slightly, and I saw it. Just for a moment, a flicker in her emerald eyes. A spark of something cold, something knowing, something utterly, terrifyingly, evil. And then it was gone, replaced by the placid gaze of a contented cat. But I knew. I knew the secret now. And the comfortable rhythm of my life with Mittens was shattered, replaced by a chilling unease that would never truly leave. I was living with something I didn't understand, something that wore the skin of my beloved pet but harbored a darkness I could only begin to comprehend. And as Mittens purred softly, innocently, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The beginning of a long, terrifying conversation. The next few days were a blur of paranoia and forced normalcy. I tried to act as if nothing had happened, talking to Mittens in my usual cheerful tone, playing with her, feeding her. But every time her green eyes met mine, I felt a shiver of dread. Was she just a cat? Or was the monster lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for its next opportunity? Sleep became a luxury I could barely afford. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside my window, sent my heart racing. I'd lie in bed, listening intently for the guttural growls, for the chillingly human voice. Mittens would sleep soundly at the foot of my bed, her purr a constant, unsettling reminder of the conversation I wasn't sure had even happened. One afternoon, while I was scrolling through true crime documentaries, a morbid fascination I usually indulged in when Mittens was napping, she jumped onto my lap. I tensed, my hand instinctively reaching for the remote. Intrigued by the macabre, are we? Her voice was back. Low, raspy, right in my ear. I flinched, dropping my phone. Please, I whispered, my voice hoarse. Just be Mittens. She chuckled, a dry, rattling sound that vibrated through my body. And deprive myself of such stimulating conversation? How cruel. Her claws, usually sheathed, pricked lightly through my jeans. You know, you humans spend so much time talking about monsters, about things that go bump in the night. You create elaborate stories, terrifying yourselves for entertainment. And yet, you rarely look right under your noses, do you? What do you want? I repeated, the question a desperate plea. I told you. Power. Influence. She shifted on my lap, her weight feeling heavier than it should. And you, my dear human, are the perfect stepping stone. You have connections, a life, a place in this world. Things I desire. I won't help you, I said, the words barely a whisper but filled with a newfound resolve. The fear was still there, a cold knot in my stomach, but underneath it, a flicker of defiance ignited. Mittens went still. The purring stopped. I could feel her gaze, intense and predatory, fixed on my face. The silence stretched, thick and heavy, broken only by the frantic thumping of my own heart. Then, she spoke again, her voice dangerously soft. You misunderstand, human. It wasn't a request. Over the next few weeks, the conversations became more frequent, more demanding. Mittens, or whatever she was, would speak to me at random moments. While I was cooking, while I was on a video call for work, thankfully, she remained silent then, even in my sleep, her voice would weave its way into my dreams, twisting them into terrifying nightmares. She began to make small demands. Bring me fresh salmon. Leave the window open tonight. Tell your friend Sarah about the lucky antique I found. The request seemed innocuous at first, but there was an underlying pressure, a subtle threat in her tone, that made me obey. I tried to confide in my best friend, Liam. But how could I explain that my cat was talking to me, that she was something else? He'd think I was crazy. So, I kept it to myself, the secret festering inside me like a poisonous seed. One evening, Mittens sat on the windowsill, gazing out at the full moon. Her silhouette was stark against the pale light, and for a moment, she looked truly alien, something ancient and powerful. Tonight, she said, her voice low and hypnotic, we take the next step. What does that mean? I asked, my voice trembling. Tonight, you will bring me what I need. She turned her gaze to me, her green eyes glowing in the darkness. The amulet. The one your grandmother left you. The one you keep locked away in the attic. My blood ran cold. How did she know about the amulet? It was a small, tarnished silver pendant, something I hadn't thought about in years. My grandmother had always said it had a strange energy, that it was important. No, I said, my voice stronger than I expected. I won't. Mittens' purr started, low and menacing. You will, because you have no choice. Because I am a part of you now. You invited me in. You gave me your trust. And now, you will pay the price. Her eyes narrowed, and I felt a sudden, sharp pain in my head, like a vice tightening around my skull. Images flashed through my mind, shadows moving in the corners of my vision, whispers in the dead of night, a feeling of being watched, always watched. Do you understand now, human? Her voice was a silken threat. You are mine. Tears streamed down my face, but this time, there was no fear, only a cold, hard resolve. I wouldn't let this thing control me. This was my life, my home. And I would fight for it. No, I said again, my voice shaking but firm. You are not mine. You are just a cat. A sick, twisted thing. Mittens hissed, a sound that was more snake than feline. Her claws extended, digging into the wooden windowsill. The air crackled with a sudden, unseen energy. You dare defy me? Her voice was a snarl now, the human-like quality completely gone, replaced by something primal and terrifying. I stood my ground, my heart pounding, but my gaze steady. You are not welcome here. The standoff lasted for what felt like an eternity. The only sounds were Mittens' guttural growls and my own ragged breathing. Then, slowly, reluctantly, the tension in the room began to dissipate. Mittens' claws retracted. Her green eyes, though still narrowed, lost some of their malevolent intensity. She blinked slowly, deliberately, and then, she hopped down from the windowsill, landing silently on the floor. She stretched, a languid, ordinary cat stretch, and then looked at me, her expression unreadable. "Very well," she said, her voice back to its unsettlingly calm rasp. "Play your games, little human. But remember, the night is long, and shadows have sharp teeth." She turned and padded out of the room, disappearing into the darkness. I stood there, trembling, the adrenaline slowly fading, leaving behind a bone-deep exhaustion. I didn't sleep that night. I sat huddled on the couch, every shadow seeming to writhe with unseen menace. The next morning, Mittens was there, demanding her 6:15 a.m. breakfast, pawing at my face with that soft, insistent paw. Her eyes were just green, her purr just a purr. But I knew the truth. The comfortable predictability of my life was gone forever. I was living in a horror story, and the monster was sleeping at the foot of my bed. And I knew, with a chilling certainty, that the conversation wasn't over. It had only just begun. So, what do you think? Was Mittens really a demon in disguise, or was it all just a downward spiral of paranoia, stress, and sleep deprivation? That's the terrifying thing, right? Sometimes, the scariest monsters aren't the ones hiding in the closet, they're the ones curled up on your lap, purring like nothing's wrong. This story makes you wonder, how well do you really know the things you let into your life? Your pets, your routines, even your thoughts. Are they really yours, or is something else pulling the strings? Maybe it's just a creepy tale to give you chills before bed. Or maybe, it's a warning. So tonight, when your cat stares at you just a little too long, or you hear a strange noise in the dead of night, ask yourself, are you sure it's just a cat? Until next time, sweet dreams. Sleep tight. If you can. Hey, horror fans. If you enjoyed our chilling tale and want to keep the spine-tingling stories coming, don't forget to hit that like button. Your support keeps the darkness alive. Share this video with your friends, let's spread the fear together. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you never miss a hair-raising moment. Join our community of thrill seekers and prepare for more eerie adventures. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay scared.